Hello, and welcome to this lesson, which will show you how to generate a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a running answer to a problem, based on limited evidence, and managers often use them as a starting point for further investigation. After you have finished this training, you will be able to, firstly, understand why hypotheses are useful for problem-solving purposes. And secondly, generate and shape hypotheses by applying helpful tools that can stimulate your thinking. To begin with, we asked major senior managers from a variety of high-profile organizations for their thoughts on hypotheses, and here is what they had to say. As you can see from the slide, hypotheses are important, particularly at the outset of a project. Every manager will approach hypotheses generation in a unique way, so we need a more formal approach. It's easy to be overwhelmed in the beginning of a problem-solving project, and it is tempting to begin running many types of analysis. But this can take a lot of time, and you risk boiling the ocean or collecting too much data and making the task unnecessarily difficult. Structured problem solving will help you align and organize all the components and find better answers and conclusions. Therefore, it is important to formulate a hypothesis early in the project. The hypothesis is your running answer, and it helps you to be specific and focused in collecting the right data. The hypothesis can be wrong, and it can evolve over time, adapting to your findings during the project. Don't fall into the trap of doing extensive analysis to try to formulate hypotheses, as you will waste a lot of time. Rather, try to iterate and experiment with different hypotheses. Industry frameworks are a useful way to structure the situation and drive the thinking process forward. Some frameworks are process-orientated and consist of different steps, such as the value chain, whereas other frameworks are more structural and consist of different elements, such as an organization's business unit portfolio. Frameworks can help to illustrate the current problem context as you understand it, and make it easier to formulate good hypotheses. In problem solving, your goal is to understand what is going on and what to do about it. In the first phase, when you are formulating your ideas, the hypothesis should clearly state a potential root cause or is already a first recommendation. It allows you to focus your work of data gathering and analysis and helps to eliminate any time-wasting options. A good hypothesis can also be tested by further analysis, and it should be close to the framework which helped you conceptualize the problem. Hypotheses will help you to efficiently and systematically move towards solving the problem. But do not cling to your initial hypotheses. Be flexible and incorporate new insights, so you sharpen or falsify your hypotheses as you progress through each stage of your project, as shown in the slide. Notice on the right-hand slide how a hypothesis can change through the duration of a project. Now let's look at some other practical ways of generating hypotheses that are primarily aimed at stimulating your own thinking. Firstly, the 5 whys method, first developed by Toyota. The main goal of the technique is to determine the root cause of a problem by repeating the question why. Each answer forms the basis of the next question. The 5 in the name derives from observations that 5 iterations are generally sufficient to get to a root cause. I must emphasize that the method provides no hard and fast rules about what lines of questions to explore or how long to continue the search for additional root causes. Thus, even when the method is closely followed, the outcome still depends upon the knowledge and persistence of the people involved. Secondly, when you're stuck on a problem, it often helps to look at it from another perspective. This can be all that you need to do to come up with a great solution. However, it is sometimes difficult to think about what these perspectives might be. This is when a tool like the framing matrix is useful. The approach relies on the fact that different people with different experiences are likely to approach problems in different ways. The technique helps you put yourself into the minds of different people. Imagine the way that they would face these problems, and explore the possible solutions that they might suggest. All you'll need is a pen and paper to get started. Follow the steps on the slide to help you broaden your thinking. Thirdly, mind mapping helps to quickly collect and organize your team's collective knowledge as the basis for new hypotheses. Because mind maps are two-dimensional in structure, they show you the shape of the problem, the relative importance of each branch, and how the facts relate to each other. Being able to see all of this on just one sheet of paper helps you review information quickly and efficiently, remember it more effectively, and improve your creative problem solving. Follow the steps on the slide to help you broaden your thinking. And fourthly, consider conducting a beliefs audit to help you quickly gather thoughts and information from your stakeholders and to challenge your initial hypotheses. By interviewing or surveying your colleagues, you can probe their thoughts about the current problem. Think carefully about who to meet and what you want to ask them. Questioning your current situation can open paths to creative thinking and new hypotheses. For instance, Google's original aspiration was to build the best search engine ever. But to enter a new era of growth, Google leaders needed to perceive their company differently. Only when they challenged their long-held assumption that we are a search engine company could they then come up with the "we want to know everything" notion, which started projects such as Google Earth and Google Labs. In summary, follow a three-step process to generate good hypotheses. Firstly, during the project outset, be creative and build your running answer. Secondly, shape your hypothesis by ensuring it is specific, testable, and close to the framework you use to conceptualize the problem. And thirdly, be prepared to adjust your hypothesis as you move through the various stages of your project, learning additional information that will either prove or disprove your hypothesis. And keep in mind some of the practical ways to stimulate your own thinking when it comes to generating hypotheses. The 5 whys, the reframing matrix, mind mapping, and by conducting belief audits. Thank you for participating, and see you next time on another exciting business training lesson from Pontema.